the best rush defense in the league, and they're going up against the Texans, who will try to avoid becoming one-dimensional. With that, let's welcome in our fine broadcast team. Here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the New York Jets. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Jets ball club. They've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they come in the midst of a pretty bad stretch here, losers of 5 straight.
So many different reasons teams hit the losing skids, but the best way out of it, something has to happen positive early in the game.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the inline. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Throw left side complete. It's Ferguson. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 12 yards there, and the Jets have a first. Well, the offense lining up 1st and 10. They'll set up to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. Give him 30 yards there.
We saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. It's Lamb. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 6 catches, 93 yards.
And he was able to haul that pass in there, but he knows he's got a tough task ahead of him. This unit in the top 5 in the NFL against the pass. He's going to have to really work hard to get open.
And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going, runs like that.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field, and when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Ready? Set! Green, 39!
They'll look to throw. And he's got it. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the 1st down as he's tackled at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing the 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
Here we go now.
They're going to look to throw. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line. Whitney Merciless coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7. Getting into the act on the opening drive here with a sack. And remember, they had 5 last week.
And they saw that on film, and that meant that they had to get together. Offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, offensive line coach, receivers coach, and say, how do we beat this pressure? Because everyone has to win against the defense and get the ball in the hands of the quarterback very quickly.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th.
Here we go.
And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he is in. Touchdown, New York. It's the fullback. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jets take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Returning it, Carlos Henderson. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. The former national champion at Clemson bringing him onto the field, and that's the signal caller, Deshaun Watson.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
This one complete. It's C.J. Fedorowicz. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
The numbers for Miller in last week's ball game: 16 carries, 67 yards.
And he's hoping to have the same type of game, but he's going up against the #1 defense in the league, and they're very good at fitting the run. So now you've got to think offensive strategy, maybe a little more play action, and try and find some people open downfield.
7 yards on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. Offensive line wasn't set. There's the flag, and 5 yards back they go.
Quarterback has to look around and make sure that his team is ready to go. Sometimes the quarterbacks go faster than is necessary.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. From the 50, it's Watson. They find some open field here. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down. Now a first down throw, Watson. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
To throw is Watson. And avoids the contact by sliding. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a third down. Under 4 to play now. Clock running, third down. From the gun, here's Watson. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up fourth down.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up fourth. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, but the net gain, 3 points.
And you're going to have drives like that in this league. Sometimes you just got to take the 3 and move on. Always better than nothing.
This will be taken about the 12. And he gets it to the 30-yard line, but the football's not going to stay there. There's a penalty marker down.
Illegal blocking the ball. Return team.
So that will push him back.
And now we know why he had a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back, that penalty will move them back.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, second down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. He didn't get rid of the football there, took the sack, although that's easier said than done. He can't just chuck the thing sideways into the seats.
No, he really can't, because you're not afforded total protection as a quarterback. You have to get outside of the tackle boxes as defined by the NFL, meaning wherever your tackles operate normally, get outside of that, and the ball that you throw has to get back to at least the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, you face an intentional grounding call.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first. We're just 2 minutes away from sending you to Orlando for Larry Ridley in our EA Sports Halftime Report, so don't forget about that coming up shortly.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a halftime without him, and we thank him for doing the highlights. Let's go get a snack.
17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Let's go.
Back to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. And look out. I think he's going to go. 30. 10. And they will score a pick six for the Texans TD. How about that for a little jolt right before intermission?
Talk about taking momentum into the half with you, and so many teams have an emphasis on trying to score in the last 2 minutes of a half to carry that with them. It's not often talked about scoring on defense, though. That's extra mo.
And now they may take the lead into the locker room as well. And from down in Miami, an update. The Dolphins have jumped out to an early lead in their ball game. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. The Houston defense we watch as they get set to go. And we're going to get a peek at some of the hits. The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him and they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. On third down, that's Burton. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
And incomplete on the deep ball. Ten yards to go on third. Watson going to give this one to Miller. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on fourth. So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Fielded at the 33. That'll be a 43-yard punt, but a net of just 33 following a 10-yard return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Now the Jet offense about to take over as they head out onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Lamb. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead. As it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Back to throw now on 1st down. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. And now before this 1st down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they stop him with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Got a man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets.
Well, someone has a sense of the dramatic here, don't they? Scoring this late in the half to take the lead going into the locker room.
Now they just don't want to misstep misfortune on the next kickoff because there's still a little bit of time left on that clock.
Yeah, you do have to bring that up, don't you? In the NFL, every play is critical. And if you give up something cheap there, all that advantage they just gained goes right out the window.
And that makes it 14-10. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number one. So we are at halftime here. Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. They've gone to the second quarter in Buffalo. And the Bills have taken the early lead. Tyrod Taylor with one touchdown pass thus far.
Here we go.
Second half begins with a run from Miller. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. He had a great read there from his free safety position. And, Charles, you know with those guys, it's all about their eyes. They have to be laser-focused.
Yeah, I had to fake my way through it when I was playing, but now I can see exactly what they're doing. And on that play, he obviously had no presence to feel like he's being pushed for a pass. And without that, that allowed him to get up to the line of scrimmage and hold him to no gain.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Out of the gun, Watson. He's going to float this one deep right side. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. And not his best effort there, as this one's going to be spotted down just outside of the 40-yard line. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. He's had one of those games that any quarterback loves, not only being able to complete some passes, but some deep passes.
And it's pretty to watch. I mean, it's an absolute joy to see, but let's face it, we got to give a little bit of credit where it's deserved, right?
Well, the protection's been great, if that's where you're going.
Yeah, protection's been phenomenal, but how about how it's been spotlighted, right? Our producer, Christian McLeod, our director, Kyle Burt, the rest of the crew, what they put together with these images and pictures, if you're an offensive lineman, that's what you're taking with you to contract time.
They're going to have a lot to take to contract time if this continues. Now back to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's third down. So nothing there on the screen that time.
That means all that great acting they tried on offense went for naught, didn't it? Because you have to try and influence them. Make them think that you're doing something else. Make them think that they can get to the passer by letting them by and then setting up the screen and getting downfield. Didn't happen at all. Give a lot of credit to the defense for not tumbling to that one. I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And this one is right down Broadway. And that moves them up by a touchdown now at 17-10. So it's only 3 points on this opening drive of the third quarter. And even though that stretches out the lead, Charles, I think you'd have to consider this a win for the defense, no?
Couldn't agree more, Brandon. That offense got themselves in prime position to really open up this ball game, but the drive stalled out. And yeah, 3 points is very easy to get back in today's NFL.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
On first down, Watson. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
Let's go.
They go play action here on first down. Looking deep downfield. And that's caught at the 25. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That one goes for 36 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
On first down, it's Watson. Dumps it complete to Miller. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make this a second down. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket. When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
They'll try and run for it with Miller. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be second and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Back now here on EA Sports. And now it's second and goal. They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. Lamar Miller, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. And Charles, he's able to dive in there in a short yardage situation.
Just find a place to get to the end zone. Didn't matter where it was, but once he did, used his nose for the end zone and dove in.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The New York set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They'll look to throw here. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to, you and your brothers, just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down. The Jets on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Play clock winding down. He'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
On 3rd and 1, I think everyone in the stadium thought they'd try and run the football there, but they tried to surprise the defense and hit something through the air. Instead, it results in an incompletion.
All right, here we go.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. It'll be a pickup of only a yard. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. They'll drop to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's what.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. These strong safeties, some people may not realize it. It's really like an extra linebacker, right?
It really is, because they're hybrids. Half linebacker, half defensive back. The linebacker in him on that play emerged.
And he fires one incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes it's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And a nice gain at 21 yards. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They've got a first down in field goal range already. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
And now for the offense, this is play number 11 here on this drive.
Let's go.
He'll drop to throw. And this is incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
All right, here we go.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. This pass rush, they've been excellent all game long, and another example of it right there in the closing moment.
Not only with the pass rush, but how well they're coached, because if you don't quite get there, get to the quarterback, get your hands up into the passing lane and knock it away, as we just saw there.
And now then, it's a big kick right there to give him the lead in the fourth. But, Charles, there is still time left for a final drive.
Brandon, you know they would have liked to take the clock down just a little bit further, at least under a minute or so, but this was not over yet, especially since they just need a field goal.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Now comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
They practice this all the time.
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Fuller. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller, his second touchdown on the season. And the Texans have taken the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind. It's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes around him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella. Because they know more times than not, he tends to pick things up, and they tend to play well.
They'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. J.J. Watt in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. He's back to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A very solid gain of 27. Back to throw. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. He's at the 30. 10. 5. And they will score a pick six for the Texans TD. Short throw, pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Final score now on our NFL scoreboard. And now that one really widening up. The Bucs have just scored again. Jameis Winston, 3 touchdown passes to help lead the way. And this will likely be the last play and wrap things up. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for the Texans, it may not be too late to salvage their season as the win moves them to 2-5 now on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they dropped just their second game so far as they fall to 5-2. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head up to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter @EA Madden NFL. So long, everybody.